y'all. Welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors, live from Mississippi. Oh, cooking a little different tonight. I went ahead, fired the grill up. Smoke is a rolling out here. Michelle had a Boston butt she wanted to cook, so I got up here about an hour ago, and I went ahead really about an hour ago. I got up here. I put this on the grill about 30 minutes ago, really, maybe an hour, maybe 45. I ain't sure. Time gets away from a fellow that's running wide open. So anyway, let me show you what I have done. They ain't nobody on here. Let me pull up the chat over here on my iPad before I get over there to doing too much. But what I was getting at is I have already prepped and started cooking. So basically, it's a sit down and wait kind of deal now. Y'all know, follow what I'm telling you here, hey? See if I can get this iPad juiced up. See if I can find Spirit Outdoors on here. I ought to be subscribed to my own channel, but I might not be. You can't never tell. It's a mic slow. Retry. Ain't no internet. We liable to lose connection tonight, reckon. Let's see. There we are. There it is. Found us. So I'm going to bring y'all over here and show y'all what I got going on this grill, if I can. So I've got an old, it ain't aluminum, it's roasting pans. And I'm trying to keep the doors shut where I ain't got a lot of heat in there. I cooked yesterday. I've got a roasting pan, them oval thin pans. Well, that joker will get hot and it'll cook all the juice out and it'll charbroil that stuff, your seasoning right down to the bottom, and they look like ashes if you ain't. And what happened was I didn't let it get that far along, but it got further along than I wanted. And it was simply because I was out here working on this cast iron or trying to season it up. You see I got one pot sitting right there. That is a little chicken fryer that is, I'm gonna get hot and put another coat of oil on. Well, this one I did several pieces. Well, I was working on all that and I neglected to keep an eye on how hot my grill was getting. And it got up there about 350 and stayed there for a little while because I had this little boy that I don't know if y'all have ever seen him before, but he's about yay high and he likes to poke wood in that firebox around there. So Mr. Helper helped me get the temperature way on up on there. Of course, the door was wide open, just really sucking air, and it was exhausting. I mean, we had blue smoke all over the yard. It was cooking, son. Well, my hog shoulder, it just about overcooked it. So what I got tonight is I got my chicken fryer, one of my cast iron ones, and it really ain't. Mike Culpepper, don't strangle me now. But this is the one, do you see that? This lid matches that cooker, and that is one of the reasons I'm using it. So what I'm doing with this Boston butt is I'm letting it cook and smoke, and it's done cooked the juices down, and I added some water. So you got to have your sliced jalapeno jar to put your water in, and I set it over there next to the grill on purpose so it would be warm and wouldn't bring my temperature way down when I put it in there. I started to set it on that firebox, but I was afraid I'd forget that glass wouldn't handle that real good. I could use my coffee pot, would have been smart, but I didn't think about that. Well, I can't get it out from over there. I guess I can if I move that jar. I should have cleaned this up. It's been sitting there all summer, ain't been touched. It needs a good scrubbing. I could have filled it up with water and set it on there and had hot water to add to that as it comes out. We didn't think that far ahead, we doing this wide open as we go. So anyway, I'm probably fixing to, now I'm gonna let that cook open a little bit longer. As long as it ain't drying out, I'd rather it cook open as long as it ain't turning black. So that was up over 250, and that's why I let the door open there for a little bit. What was that racket, Shane? Down yonder. I heard it sound like a limb broke or something. I don't know. Maybe a fox. Maybe a fox down there after my chickens or something. But anyway, we're going to get over here and sit and talk for a little while now. We got Roscoe his own chair back there. Let me lower that down. But I don't know if he's going to get in his chair or not. Y'all just remind me ever so often to go check on my grill over there. Turn that a little bit that way. Roscoe, you got a chair back yonder. Here, let me drag it up here a little bit for him. He's too far away. He ain't. We couldn't find a good cushion, so we found the old rug we had. Come in. Get up there and see it. That's your chair. He's looking at it like I'm supposed to sit here in this. Sit down. He's mad because it ain't got that cushion. His mama got the cushion.
Either that or because he wants to sit here beside you and I'm here.
I don't know. He ain't real happy about something. He ain't thrilled with it. But anyway, y'all, it's a beautiful day in Mississippi. The weather is nice. Anyhow. He wanted to play a little bit. Weather's been nice. Last day and a half or so, I've been helping my brother, and we working on Mom and Daddy's bathroom, so we've been all day with that. We've been in and out doing stuff, been busy, but trying to get all of that stuff squared away for them before winter gets in. We replumbing the whole thing, trying to fix it to where Daddy don't have to work on plumbing no more through the house. That old plumbing house was built, what, the 60s or something? Probably. Late 60s it was built, and the plumbing's just been patched and worked on over the years till I told my brother, we're going to work on this bathroom. I said, why are we in here having to get under there and hook plumbing up? I said, let's just run that PEX all the way to the kitchen and everywhere. So it took us a little more time because of that kind of stuff, but we agreed that that was a good idea and it would solve future problems. So we've been busy doing that, but man, the weather is beautiful. The temperature is not down where I would like for it to be this time of year. It's still a little warm for deer hunting. I've been watching my cameras. I got deer showing up. Man, deer's coming. I could go shoot one with my bow any day I wanted to, I believe. But I have not wanted to go shoot a deer because skinning one right now, the flies would wrap it up, and I can't handle that, y'all. That don't mean that other people can't go kill a deer. And I could probably pull a door down on that skinning shed and manage to skin a deer and get what I needed to do done, but I don't want to sit there and swat mosquitoes and sweat trying to hunt, so I just hadn't went. Now, I will squirrel hunt. I don't know about squirrel hunting over to deer camp. I don't know if there's wolves in them over there. In this swamp down here behind the house, there's not a lot of cows in that swamp, There's some in areas along the edges of it, but a lot of places they're not. So you don't have that botfly getting to them and leaving those wolves in them, or warbles, or whatever people call it. We call it a wolf here, but it's a botfly larva. And that really ain't a huge problem in the swamp. Now, it can be at times, but... So my hunting, I hadn't really just pushed hunting. Obviously, we went fishing day before yesterday. My dad wanted to go fishing, so me and him and Brody loaded up, what was that, Thursday afternoon. And we looked up and got on some crappie. We fished about 2 different holes before I found some wanting to bite. And I fished holes that I've caught crappie in before, but you got to hit some of them holes, and they right here, they'll move a little bit. And we caught some crappie and didn't find them. Man, the grinnell, I could have wore the grinnell out. But we waited till late to try to catch them, and then I fooled around and didn't get Brody hooked up on one. not let him, which we had more than we could eat. We really didn't need a nothing. It was about letting Brody catch one, but I got scolded on Facebook because I didn't put his hands in the right place on the pole, and I didn't hook it right, and I don't know what all I did wrong. Folks on Facebook will straighten you right out. But we got to go fishing and had more fish than we could eat, so I couldn't see where it was much of a problem for me. I don't let stuff worry me no whole lot. But we've had a good week, y'all. It has been a good week. Uh, I've got my knife orders not caught up, but I got the stuff that was already paid for done, except I got one knife I got to make a sheath for and ship to Georgia to Mr. Walter Coleman. His knife's laying down there. I hadn't had a chance to make the sheath because I've been down there, so we about to get everything going around. Wish it would cool off a little bit. Good to see all of y'all tonight. I ain't gonna start calling names because there's too many celebrities on the chat room. Veterans, I see. It looks like everybody I see is people I've known. I have not seen Trey DeHart. Jack said, "Hey, hated Jack." Oh, just looking at names that stand out I hadn't really seen before. But we are doing well. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's doing good. Randy McCullough said, the wife and I watch you almost every day. We just dried some goldenrod for the first time, made some tea. It was very good. I like to take and mix rabbit tobacco in with my tea. The last that I made the other day, though, I let it get way too strong. And if you get it too strong, it'll get a bitter bite to it. Probably healthier for you as far as getting medicinal stuff in your body, but I really don't drink goldenrod for the medicinal properties. I drink it to keep me from drinking so much black coffee. Because I don't need the jitters up in the middle of the day. So I try to wait late in the evening and drink a cup or two. And I don't do that every day, but it's a substitute for tea or coffee, but it does have a lot of benefits, clean your kidneys out, all that stuff. So I do enjoy some goldenrod tea. Ricky Johnson said, I think Brody had more fun on that first grinnell you caught than you did. He did, and he come up with that hollering about, here, come get some fresh minnows. We didn't have a minnow with us. I don't know where he come up with that, but I told somebody, I said, he's going to make a good used car salesman. he was lying to that grinnell telling him we had fresh minnows on the bank. We didn't have a minnow nowhere in captivity. But yeah, he done got excited. Uncle Sasquatch, please send me some upper 40s in the mornings. I could build a fire and sleep in that teepee if it'd get down there. The last night I camped out in that teepee, I have stayed in it, by the way. We had a fire going to keep the mosquitoes at bay, and man, I sweated and sweated. I mean, it was bad. Somebody said you had a snazzy looking t-shirt on, Michelle.
Oh, yeah, it's got stars on it. Thank you.
John Culpepper said, man, don't let some 400-pound 17-year-old living in their mama's basement bother you with comment. John, they don't bother me. I like to read them and dish it right back them. If they start using profanity, I just block them. And I had one yesterday that he got ugly with me over the thing, and I just blocked him and go on. If they start with profanity, I'm through with them. They don't cuss me. Not on my channel. But he got mad because the first smart aleck remark he gave me, he telling me what I needed to do. I told him, I said, I'm running this show. Yeah, and that's when he cussed me. He didn't have anything better to say. There's your son. My mom done pulled up. Brody's camped out with them last night, so
She had been to the mountains, so he had not seen
he ain't seen his nana in a week. She went to the Gatlinburg. They probably knew we was live, so they just pulled up and put him out. Uncle Sasquatch said if he mails that temperature down here, it'd take 11 days to get here. Yeah. What you got in that box, son? Tell them hello while I look.
Hey!
What? Lego City a tractor. Show that to them. Look, who bought you that?
My Nana.
Nana has, hold it up. They can't see what. Turn it around. Turn it around. There you go. He's about to figure that camera out. It gets the better of him sometime. William Robert Daddy did not find his glasses, but they were just like, well, I ain't even got mine on. They were like some Amazon glasses that he ordered, just cheaters. So we didn't lose no expensive pair of glasses. But I done even got to the stage. Fortunately for my daddy, I'm old enough that I need glasses too, so I just loaned him mine to tie his fish hooks, and that it worked out for the best. But we had a good time. My daddy, he don't like to fish a whole lot. He'd rather work, but he about had enough and wanted to go fishing. And we really have better luck with the crappie in the fall than we do any time of the year. So between now and Christmas, I'll probably wear the crappie out when I get time to go down there, and I probably won't go every week. I would like to, but I just probably can't. But Brian from Poverty Hill, good to see you tonight. Pam A, the extra chair back there is for Roscoe. We put him a rug in it, but he's fighting his mom over that with a cushion in there. Roscoe's that your chair back there? Yeah. You went and barked at whoever. Look, he's fixing to steal his mama's chair. Oh, he's found a toy. He got a toy he got in the mail. So he likes for me to chunk that out there in the yard. He'll go fetch it. Van Walen, this bandana right here, I found at the Hobby Lobby. We was in Hobby Lobby. I was looking for some stuff making knife sheaths, not sheaths. I was looking for thin copper for starters. I never did find it, but we wound up picking some other odd and ends. I think when I got this, we were getting some beads. I've got plans to try to start working on some bead work on some stuff, but I hadn't had time to experiment and play with that. Michelle wanted to do it. She ain't had time neither. Martin Meltzer, that does make the TP a sweat lodge, because it was most definitely a sweat lodge when I put that fire in there. I mean, that thing holds heat better than you'd imagine. I didn't realize it would heat up like it did. Heart of Pine Homesteads. Alicia said we were in Tractor Supply today, and a guy walked in wearing a Spirit of the Outdoors shirt. There was a fellow walked in Lowe's with one on today. It was me. And it wasn't even my shirt. I had an Alabama shirt on today because it was game day. And I've been in and out under the house, and when we had to go to Lowe's, if you work on plumbing, you're going to make at least 2 trips to town. So the first trip we went to Lowe's, I was pretty nasty, and Mama, she said, well, wear one of your daddy's shirts. And she brought me one of Daddy's Spirit of the Outdoors shirts. So when we first got to Lowe's, I met about 2 or 3 people that come up wanted to meet me, and it's always a pleasure. Y'all, when I'm out in public and you see me, I love to meet y'all. Come up to me, I'll take a picture, whatever you want. That's part of the reason I do what I do, especially kids. If your kid sees me in town and wants to come see me, bring him over there and say hey. But yeah, I wore my daddy's to town today too. But he probably was, Alicia. She said she didn't talk to him, figured he was weird. If he was watching Spirit of the Outdoors, we all a little strange. John Culpepper, them Jonah knives will just flat cut up whatever you need cut up. I had to oil mine up. I've been out from under the house today till I had to do this. Hunter Tucker was one of the ones I got to meet at Lowe's today. Nice to have met you, man. I do enjoy meeting everybody. Alicia, I will fix you up with a shirt. What color you like? I have to take care of family. You just tell me what color and what kind, and I'll get you one on the way. Be a happy birthday from me. Jimmy Sullivan said that was probably him. Well, he was weird then, Alicia, if it was Jimmy. Because he eats them old mudfish too, you know. Them old weird people that eat them grinnell and mudfish, I don't know what to think about them. It still blows people's mind when I put a reel on there catching and I'm excited about a grinnell. And some fella, he said, he got all excited, said, look, and said it was a dead bird mudfish. I said, that's because I know how to cook them. And it really ain't how you cook it. The cooking it's the same as any other fish. It's just keep it alive and don't put a lot of water on it and you're good to go. So while we sitting here chatting, let me check on my meat over here. I don't want to burn up my Boston bud. It ain't got back up to temperature though yet. I found me a fire poker. This is one of the ones that David Gerard I picked up. This thing come all the way from Wheeling, West Virginia, or actually above there a little. But I'm using it to poke this firebox. I want it to stay at about 250. I wouldn't quiet up there, so let me check on what this in here looks like. Yeah, we still good in there. I just don't want to cremate nothing. Get this camera turned back around over here. There we go. I don't know why that's got all these smiley faces and stuff pulled up. Uncle Sasquatch asked David if he had seen the Kibler's video on the Hawking kit. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you right now, I want one of them Hawking kits. I wanted to see if my buddy up here in Tennessee Valley Manufacturing, Mr. Jack Garner, had one that I could build. Everybody I've talked to said, "Oh, you don't want to build one of them Hawking kits." I'm like, I think I do. I don't know why they so hard to build. I think I want to try to build one. I had never backed down from a challenge. Now, I have messed some stuff up, and I don't do perfection work. All I want to do is get the blooming thing together where it'll shoot. It looking like a work of art probably is above my pay grade, but now, you know, I've been thinking about the next one I build, trying to see how good I can do it. The first one, I just wanted to be able to say I built a gun that fired. So I built it kind of rough, and I like a little more meat on them guns. Mr. Jack wanted me to sand some more wood off of it, and I said, I got it about where I want it, you know. I like that block of wood sticking out through there, so. Anyway. John Culpepper, it don't take much to put that edge back on there. Really, a little ceramic rod will rub it back to a razor's edge pretty quick most of the time. Uncle Sasquatch, I'd love to see you build one of them Hawking kits. I really would. And Mike Culpepper, you asked about the little pot. Y'all, I tried electrolysis for the first time. And for those of you that are not familiar with electrolysis, that is where you take a plastic tank and you hang a cast iron pot or anything rusted up and corroded that's metal in there. And then you hook a sacrificial piece of steel down in there and you put some sodium carbonate in the water and hook a battery charger to that thing and it'll pull all that crud off the metal. I'd never done it. So this morning, I put one in there last night and I called Mike Culpepper to make sure I hooked the leads up the right direction. And I ain't had time to look at it this morning. I left and went down yonder pretty quick. And he asked me up to date how it was. Mike did, and I said, I don't know. I ain't been down there to look. Well, I got home, and that thing, man, it was black as soot and clean. It had all the rust was gone, but now it needs to be cleaned good with soap and water. But all the crud's gone off of it, so it worked. I don't know if it was done this morning or well, yeah, it was done this morning. Yeah, I'll tell you, I did look at. I didn't look at the pot. I went down there and I unclamped the cables and turned the battery charger off. I didn't stir in the water. That's what it was. So I did unhook it, but I didn't have time to mess with it. But electrolysis does work. The pot is clean. It's sitting in there on the counter. I could get it and let y'all take a look at it probably, but I'm gonna. I've got some more cast iron here that I'm gonna put in that electrolysis tank. So I'll do a video on seasoning the rest of these later in the week sometime. I filmed seasoning up what I was filming. I just hadn't edited and put that video out yet. KM5KM said, I'm still looking for I don't know what that is. I don't know. I'm lost there. Uncle Sasquatch, what is that rifle kit cost? Is you said something about $1,200 plus you got to buy the lock separate? Do they give you options on the lock? What's the reason that the lock don't come with the kit? I mean, they know the kit's no good without a lock, so $200 for a lock at least. So you're looking at a $1,400 rifle. Derek Moses, I think I did see part of Bruce Mitchell's video. I like a lot of Bruce Mitchell stuff. Bruce Mitchell is a cool guy. He's a lot like me. He hadn't let fame change him. He just still does what he does, and that's a lot the way I am, and that's why I got a lot of respect for him. The next thing is every time somebody miles off to me about, I don't know about a fellow wearing a do-rag, and I say, well, you must not like Bruce Mitchell or Phil Robertson them either. But anyway, I like old Bruce Mitchell. 15.25 with a lock. They sell the lock separate to avoid the taxes. Makes sense. Makes sense. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to swing that for one. $1,400 is whew. That's about what I paid for that lever action 4570. I might ought to just hunt with it this year. You know what I mean, Vern? On my days off outdoors, it finally made it home for the live. I'm gonna tell you that trying to get home from doing stuff is a challenge. It's done dark. It ain't hardly 7 o'clock. Well, it's 7:30 and it's already black dark out here. Won't be long and time will change in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna tell y'all, this year has went by quick, fast, and in a hurry. Uncle Sasquatch, none of us need half of what we got, but we all, it's like this cast iron I'm cleaning on. I can cook with what I got, but now I did want that little number 8 Dutch oven because I'm going to do a good bit of cooking out here, and for me and Michelle cooking a meal, that little old Dutch oven's really about the right size. I should have used it on the smoker, but I really just didn't want to put that new. I just seasoned it, and I want to cook with it before I put it on that smoker. But I think this little old chicken fryer I'm using is really the better thing in there because it's got a handle. I can reach in there and get it out. I ain't got to swing a lid up in that grill. So I think this chicken fryer is going to work better in there for what I'm doing. But I love cooking with cast iron. My love for cast iron is I can get out here and cook over the grill, over the fireplace, over the fish cook, whatever, you know. And then I got that little Dutch oven. I didn't even show it to y'all yet. Let me show it to you. This right here little pot, this is a number 6, I think. Well, it don't say. It's got an L, made in USA. Number 5. Got a 5 in the lid. This going in the teepee. We gonna cook in a teepee in this little old pot. I got a recipe in my mind that I'm fixing to do here before long. And I'm going to take some deer ribs and I'm going to put them in that Dutch oven and seal it up. And I'm going to cook them like a roast till they come off the bones. I think that's money because I like deer ribs. And if you eat them hot, the fat melts away from them. You can eat them. But they hard to get tender. And I got to thinking, I said, instead of me just grilling them and eating them like I've been doing, because I don't mind tough meat. I ain't one of them real picky kind of guys, you know, that walks around like this, that everything's got to be perfect and so. But they a little tough. You got to gnaw on them to eat them. It ain't like that's the greatest thing ever was, but I hate to throw stuff away. But I said, you know, I bet you I could put them jokers in that Dutch oven and put the lid on it and seal it up tight and cook it slow and low and about an hour and a half. And I guarantee you them ribs would fall out of them bones and they'd leave them where they was tenderer, you know. So I think I'm going to try that. But I'm really proud of this little old Dutch oven. It seasoned up nice.
I told him it'd make some good rotel.
Yeah, probably would, but I don't want that cheese stuck in my cast iron. Last night, I come in, we was tired, and it was late when I got here. It was about this time, it was done about dark. And she said, well, I got some ground beef. She'd been gone all day too. Ground deer meat, thawed out. And so I just went and got it, throwed it in the skillet. I looked around, we had 1/2 of an onion, so I chopped it up, throwed it in there. She said, well, I got some froze bell peppers chopped up a little bit in a bag. I just stuck in the freezer. I said, well, hand that here, and I dumped that in there. I said, now what we making? And we didn't either one know, and I got to rummaging around in the pantry and found the dry noodles, and I said, can we stick these in there? And she said, yeah. So we got a handful of noodles and dropped them in the, and I don't know, we grated some hook cheese.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, but that's the way I like to cook. Just, what have I got laying around? Let's put it together, and man, is this fit to eat or no? And usually it's fit to eat. Put a little Tony's in there, everything was all right. Lloyd Morris, have you been on them crappie yet? They ought to be right. Independent thinker, cast iron is all I use. I love cooking with cast iron. I really do. I've got one thing that ain't cast iron that I want, And that's one of them big Magna-Lite roasters. I mean to have me one of them before it's said and done. But I'm gonna tell y'all already, I've got to get me a cabinet out here somewhere built. Uh, I'm seriously thinking about rebuilding my little table over here and building me a cabinet up under it and walling that up because and putting some doors because I need to set my charcoal and some oil, and I'm trying to fix it where it ain't so unsightly out here. Everything that's out here that I use has got to be exposed. The next thing is my cooker over there. Somebody wanted me to do a video on my cooker. My well, it's actually 3 burners. It's got the stew pot down low. But I'm wanting to move my bottle over here to the end, so I'm going to have to extend some of my gas lines. And if I can get that bottle around over here to the end, I don't like having to reach over it to adjust the valves. I need them valves over here on the side, so I need to run them up under it. So I'm going to try to do that. If I can get that done, I want to put a wall over here and get me a sink out here. I need running water out here bad. So anyway, all of that stuff's going to happen at some point. Lloyd said he got out today, but he only caught 2. Well, brother, you need to get up here with me sometime and let me take you down in this swamp when I get time to go some, and you can stand on the bank and catch them down here in this swamp. The water's low. The problem with this swamp is before we get rain and the water rises, them leaves falling or just get on the water. And I like to throw a jig out there and reel it, and it just might near gets impossible to fish through all the leaves. Your bait will be laying up on a leaf out there somewhere. Need a BSR fish fryer. What is a BSR fish fryer?
I don't know.
Well, look it up. They said that's what Butterfly Farm said that's what I need.
A what? A B? A BES?
BSR fish fryer. Paul said before you get all tangled up with the Hawkins, best to read Ned H. Roberts' book, The Muzzle Loading Caplock Rifle. You just be better served by a Eastern Oak mountain rifle. Well, my 36 caliber is a mountain rifle. It's a 36 caliber. I want a 54 or 62 smoothbore in a mountain rifle. That way I can use it for a shotgun.
Is she talking about one of these or
well, I didn't see that. You just flipped that around so fast.
one of these? That's like the one you got over yonder, or they're showing an oval cast iron pot. See, go up.
You talking about this? Well, it went away. Are you talking about this right here? That fish fryer, because I could see me. If that's got a lid to it,
That's
I
what
want
I told
that.
you they had it at the flea market today.
How much?
I didn't look.
I want me an oval cast iron. Yeah, that's what I want.
That's exactly what the heck.
Is it got a lid?
Yeah,
I
it had
want
a
a
lid on
lid.
it because Kathy said, well, look at this. It was the pot and the lid.
Well, if it was in an antique place, they probably wanted 2 prices for it. Yep, that's what he's talking about. Get with me. We'll work out a horse trade. I love to do some horse trading. I happen to know a fellow that could probably make you a knife and trade out on that thing. Hey, winner, chicken dinner. That is exactly what I need to do. Exactly what I'm doing over here on this grill. Matter of fact, y'all look at Michelle, and I'm gonna go check on my grill over here. I don't want to burn my
I'm trying
Boston
to keep up
butter.
with the comments.
Yeah, I can't. I talk too much. Oh, y'all, come on. Hey,
You gonna take them over yonder?
Yeah. I figured y'all wanted to look. I know how y'all watch these videos. Y'all like to look. Look at him. Look at that. Oh, I mean, just looking in there like that. Look at all that seasoning just floating around in there, going into that. Makes you just say, praise the Lord. I know it's gonna be good. That is my love for cast iron right there. Just put it over open fire and let her rip. Shut that down. I may add some more seasoning to that. You know what? Let's do that. Because, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna add seasoning. Picking and grilling banjo dust. They make good seasoning. Oh, I finally got me some cooking gloves, but I don't never put them on. But I've dedicated them gloves to being out here. But I want that seasoning up on there, on that meat. A while ago when I poured that water in there, I washed some of my seasoning off is what happened. There. But see, with that handle like that on the side of the chicken fryer, I can grab it in and out, but now that fish fryer y'all talking about, it's got a handle on each end. You slide it over. So with a Dutch oven, you know, you got that bell handle on the top. That really ain't gonna work under there. So see, with this, I can go in there and put that lid on there, but I don't know if I want to put that lid right now. I think I want to continue to let some smoke and stuff get to the top of that. So as long as it ain't burning up, I'm gonna leave it open, I believe. I got a lid for it sitting right here. So I love it when a plan comes together and things go my way. Too often things go awry because of my ADD, and I get to thinking about I need to be doing this, and it's hard for me to just sit here and do nothing and watch that grill. I get to wanting it, and then the next thing when I get to doing something, then I forget about the grill. Y'all have that problem? Maybe I'm the only one that does that. Roscoe, are you waiting on me? He brought that up here, been laying there all this time. He wanted me to throw it again. I tell y'all what I'm wanting to cook too one night. Well, I want to make a stew, but we're going to probably do a stew in one of them pots I got hanging up. I don't know if y'all have paid close attention, but that pot and that pot, I don't have lids for, but it's basically a cast iron bucket. That's for somebody like me that don't know no better, Mike Culpepper. I know you got a name for them. Him and Tony Parker know more about cast iron than you shook a stick at. But I'm going to hang in a teepee and we're going to cook a small stew over open fire in that teepee at some point. When it cools off enough, we can get in there. But I'm thinking about making squirrel dumplings if I can get Michelle to help me. The next project is she's got to learn me how to make biscuits so we can cook biscuits in the Dutch oven out here over open fire.
I didn't think you liked dumplings.
I don't, but I want to try squirrel dumplings. Everybody talks about squirrel dumplings. I want to try squirrel. And then I want to do the squirrels like Tony Parker told me to wrap them in bacon and put them on the grill. We're going to try that. But I done found out I got to make a bunch of charcoal. Me making this charcoal and putting it in there, son, it burns up fast in that grill cooking, especially chicken or something. He brought it over there, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Find me a stainless steel tank and you can thank me later. I know where some stainless steel, what's them things John Anthony's got up there? They on legs. They probably 6 foot diameter. I don't know what he was gonna make in them, something. I'm behind on comments. Mike Culpepper said Birmingham stove and range. Yeah, Rhonda, them Magnolites. I want me a Magnolite roaster. I watch them cook up. I like cooking Cajun style cooking, and I don't make stuff like to the recipe the way the South Louisiana folks make it. I get close, but if I cook something, I'm gonna put my spin on it. That's just the way I do. Uh, y'all have heard me say before, cooking is an idea more than it is an absolute recipe. So when I don't put okra in the gumbo or I put tomatoes in something that ain't supposed to, I'm cooking with what I like and just making it my own. It ain't that, hey, this is a traditional, the way this is supposed to be done recipe. But I like them sauce, like sauce piquant stuff. Man, I love to do all of that. And them Magnolite roasters, if you're cooking for several people, they the way to go. Because a lot of times it seems to me like with this cast iron, you start pulling some seasoning out from the inside into your food. I've had some things turn dark in the cast iron, but it ain't a huge problem. I guess I've watched some of them cook on them roasters. I just want one.
Derek, he's in there playing with his toy. His nana got him at Walmart today.
I see him running back and forth through the house.
Or he's torching the puppy. Either one.
Him and that puppy is having.
They play pretty rough.
Uncle Sasquatch, when I showed them cast iron, he said I was leaving too much ammo for you when I make you mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't reach them though.
You noticed that frying pan I'm cooking had a bunch of little dents all in it, didn't you? How you think him got there?
He puts them so high up I can't even reach them.
I got all them out of reach, but I'm gonna tell you, the one that she's took a liking to, I'll show you. And I ain't even thought about this, Uncle Sasquatch. But she's had a fit over this little old chicken fryer, and I done figured it out now that you said that. That's just the right size, and it's got a handle on it. I mean, you talking about a club. But I do got the lids for both of these. I ain't figured out what I'm gonna cook in.
I bet you could if you got mad enough.
I tell you what I'm gonna cook in that chicken fryer.
That little bitty one?
Yeah, little bitty one. My own personal cobbler. We didn't can no figs, did we?
No.
That fig cobbler's fine, y'all.
But there's
Cake
still
mix
figs on the tree back there.
Yeah, but they ain't getting ripe enough at a time to do nothing. JL327 said, I love cast iron too, but I found the Instapot is super useful. Hey, y'all ever watch watch Derek Stroop, the comedian? Some of his stuff is pretty clean. He don't just.
You're not gonna get in my lap. No.
It's hard to find a comedian that ain't just foul mouthed. You know what I'm saying? And his don't seem to be too bad, but he was talking about, he said during COVID, he really got into crock pots. And a crock pot is a handy thing, especially for somebody like me that I get sidetracked, because when he said that was the reason he was successful with it, I felt that, because when I get started doing something,
hey, when he gets through cooking, you can't even clean the pot up after him. We got one we got to throw in the garbage.
Hey, that roaster over there, it's baked to the bottom of it pretty good. That Italian dressing will cook down to a solid here. Let me tell you, brother, it'll flat do it. 2-quart stew pot. Mike Culpepper said that's what that was.
Martin said that Roscoe's having a good time playing fetch.
Yeah, he does. He thoroughly enjoys. I'm going to fill my coffee cup up. You need anything?
No.
Or you keep them entertained while I'm away, and I'm gonna check on this young'un and see if he's killed a puppy yet.
I thought he had one too, Rhonda. I don't know what all he's got. But Roscoe's having him a blast tonight. He'll sleep good tonight. He just realized his daddy went inside. He probably thinks he ain't coming back. I hadn't ever had mulberry cobbler. We like peach cobbler and strawberry cobbler. But we hadn't really bought any strawberries this year.
We ain't bought no kind of fruit. I was gonna show y'all this loaf pan. Now this is as it coming. It's starting to rust again. Surface rust because I washed it in the sink. But I mean all the crud come off of it in that but it still needs a good scrubbing.
You ain't really had time to work.
No, I ain't had time. I pulled it out and stuck it in the sink and washed the black junk off of it. But that electrolysis tank, it come out. I mean, you can see it pulled all. It's down to bare metal. It just needs oiling up. Now I got, look at my fingers now. I shouldn't have done that. I brought me a rag out here. I got me a Band-Aid on. I tried to crimp some of them pecks, crimp things. we had one of them big things that crimps the solid rings, and then we had some of them the little crimpers that's got the little thing on the side you just pinch down. Well, my brother had the crimpers for it. Well, I went under the house to do some work, and he was working on another part, and I said, well, I'll just crimp with the others. I thought that end would pinch down on there and crimp it the same. It won't. So after we turned the water on and it was leaking pretty good, I had to crawl back under there and cut it loose. And I went to peel one of them jokers after I cut it in two to peel it out from around that thing, and it just stuck right up in the end of my thumb. I wonder if it had to hurt.
Let's see. Somebody's asking about Brady's shoe size.
Had to be John Newton.
Brody's in about a 12 and a half.
He said he needs to know what adult size that compares to.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know. I seen you ask that somewhere, and I don't have an answer. I don't know. Just hold off on them.
Yeah,
I mean,
because I don't know it. Like I wear a ladies size 8.5, and that'd be like a 5.5 in a kid's. So I really don't know.
What would be a
the smallest size
6?
shoe I know would be like a lady size, and the smallest I've ever seen in a lady's shoe is like a 5. And that's
I don't know.
But that's still bigger than Brody's foot.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you on there. The only thing we could do is put his foot on a piece of paper and trace it and mail you the piece of paper. Would that work?
What?
If we stuck Brody's foot down on a piece of paper and traced around it and sent that to him.
We can do that if he thinks that'll work.
Would that work? Y'all, for what you don't know, me and him swapping out, he's making us some moccasins, like moccasin boots and stuff, and I'm gonna trade him out with a knife, and we just doing some horse trading. I like to horse trade. It's the old barter system, and I love to do that. So with my knives, I mean, I have to sell a certain amount of knives at price with money because I got Starlink don't like to barter. The Central Electric don't like to barter. Central Water Association don't like to barter. Honda Financial that owns that buggy out there, they don't like to barter. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of them, they like cash money, you know, and they'll draft it right out of your account, you know. So, but you know, for a lot of things, I like to horse trade for stuff I want. So, you know, if that makes sense for you, I think it does.
What was Brody doing?
I don't know. He was in his room and he hollered, but Puppy wasn't in there with him, so he wasn't killing Puppy, and that made me happy. Him and Puppy, they get along for a while till Puppy starts biting him, and then Brody, he don't know how to handle it. He gets frustrated, and he wants Puppy to stop when he's had enough, and Puppy don't want to stop. So, but we keeping Puppy. For those of you who don't know, Brody has laid claim to Puppy, which we all saw it coming. You know, the biggest thing for me, I wanted a female so I could breed Roscoe and we could train and raise puppies, but Brody's done got attached to that one. But the big thing is I didn't want Brody to go through his whole childhood and never have the privilege of raising a puppy of his own. What do you want? You needing some attention? Is that what you needing, some attention? Now, don't jump. Don't jump up here. You was thinking about jumping on that stump, wouldn't you? We'll get with you and get an address, and I probably got it somewhere in a book or something. We'll draw it and I'll just mail it in an envelope. It won't cost nothing to send you an envelope. You want me to throw that? Oh, he left with it. He likes that toy pretty good. I'm trying to catch up on comments, anything I might have missed that I need to. Jennifer said Homestead Skills has a good video on soaking cast iron in lye to remove rust and strip the pans. Jennifer, really, you can take vinegar and water and take all the rust off. And I've got 2 cast iron pots. I wanted to see what electrolysis would do. I've never played with it, so I wanted the experience of electrolysis. And none of really what I'm using it for was it needed electrolysis to do it. So I'm going to film doing one of these other skillets in electrolysis. I may do a video cleaning one of them with vinegar and water, and let's see how well that works.
Did you tell them I had a major project going on inside?
Well, no, I hadn't. I think you ought to get to tell them. What you got in that bowl there?
Well, it's our pasta salad. I put it in the freezer.
Pasta salad. Show it to them. They might want to look at it. I like pasta salad.
It's that Walmart, and it come out of the Walmart, the box.
Oh, it ain't the noodles like you make with the...
It's bacon ranch.
Oh, that ain't the one I like. I like the one with the Italian dressing or whatever else is more clear.
My project that I got going on.
Sweet potato cobbler. You ain't made that pie that I told you needed to make, neither.
No, I hadn't been cooking. I took my,
Yeah.
Well, I can't film nothing right now because I ain't got no cabinet doors. I took all of my cabinet doors down, and I'm sanding them down to nothing, to the bare wood, and I'm going to paint my cabinets green, like a moss green
We're going to
color.
paint the cabinets?
Yeah.
They got to come off the wall?
You can help me do that, so if we make a mess, you don't just blame me.
Whoa. I got a house I'm remodeling the bathroom in, and I'm behind on... Whoa.
No, I think I can handle painting them myself.
I'm going to tell y'all, my next major project here, I got to get water over here to this outdoor kitchen. I can't reach nothing out here. We had to carry everything in the house.
So I won't be able to film anything, any cooking videos. I did film a video the other day when I went up to West Point at the antique store. And then I filmed a little bit of me sanding my cabinets down, but I hadn't edited that video.
Foul Owl said, me neither. My first time was pretty good. Need more sugar. Gonna mix it with blackberries. What did he? Did a
Cobbler.
mulberry cobbler. Okay. In the porcelain coated cast iron pot. We got a white cast iron one, don't we?
Yeah, and I like it.
She don't never use it, though.
I do too.
I ain't seen it. But
I like
yeah.
to cook soups and stuff in it. Justin don't like soup though.
Hey, y'all give me some advice on something. I do like soup, but I like soup in cold weather. I don't like soup in the summer when it's boiling hot. When I got all this cast iron, I got this dish pan. I like that dish pan. Problem. You see this spot? There's 4 places that it's cracked. And I mean, you can see daylight through it. Here's my opinion, and I mentioned this in my video, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it again here. Y'all will see it, me mention it in video Monday or sometime. I'm thinking about taking the epoxy that I do my knives and make me a small puddle of it over it just to seal the holes where I could at least wash stuff out here and use the bowl with water in it. You can't cook in it. That epoxy should, I mean, it'll seal it up, make it waterproof.
You don't want the epoxy getting on your food, though.
I'm not going to put food in there. If I just wash stuff and rinse it, the epoxy will be on the bottom. And it'll just seal that crack up. Or is there something, a better option to solve that? Because, I don't know, it probably needed throwing in the trash. But my heart wouldn't let me, you know. You know what I mean?
You can use it for a flower pot.
We got enough junk with flowers in it around here. Hey, we can kill a flower like that. All you got to do is not water. We've learned that. I'm a master at that. I done figured that out. It gets 110 degrees around here in the middle of June and July and August. All you got to do is miss watering a plant about 3 days hand running. It'll kick your bucket every time. Let me check on my.
I can't see the comments. I took my phone in.
Is what?
So I took my phone in.
Well, get that iPad.
Jeffrey Gray has joined the talk tonight.
Jeffrey has entered the chat.
Yeah, he said, "What we eating?"
Boston butt. Come here, Mr. Gray, and look right off over in there. Just look at there, would you? Just look at that.
Everybody's saying use JB Whale.
JB Whale. I like JB Whale.
Don't put the fancy chicken to bed.
Do I need to use the gray, or they make a clear JB Whale now, which the epoxy that I got would be about the same thing as a clear JB Whale. But y'all talking about in the 2 tubes, it's gray and black, and you mix it together. I think that's what. I like JB Whale. That ain't a bad idea. Ain't a bad idea at all.
Miss Sharon, no, I haven't ever done that before. I hadn't ever used a boot.
Hand it here. Bring it here. A boot.
To plant flowers in. Use a flower.
Oh, I have seen that before. We got a wheelbarrow we got flowers planted in. I had zinnias in it last year, but I'm going to tell you, it takes a lot of water because the dirt ain't about that thick. And stuff like that, you got to water it regular. Boy, that bounced good down there, didn't it?
They said if JB Whale don't fix it, it can't be fixed.
I would agree. I knew a fella had a motorcycle. He JB welded the crankcase up and run it for I don't know how long.
How long's that meat like?
I don't know. I'm just cooking it. I mean, you can eat it now. The Native Americans eat meat raw. They didn't live long, but they eat it raw. Steel and hardener gray. Looks like everybody has overrun with JB Wales, so that's what we'll get and try that. Yeah, yeah, I got the sheriff in town with her and got her armed to the teeth with cast iron over him. Uncle Sasquatch said I was leaving too much ammo laying around. Thomas Shepard, we're glad you're here tonight. I'm going to give you some good news, Mr. Thomas Shepard. I have got my shooting bench over here right there, and I'm getting my 22s dialed in. I've got to get my 17 dialed in tomorrow because we're going to shoot beavers. Then I'm going to clean a lane out, and I'm going to move that table. I had to get my table set up as a shooting table, and we had to do some patching and working on it. I'm going to clean out a lane down there. We fixing to shoot that muzzle loader. I am ready to get it fine tuned and do burn some black powder, folks. I ain't smelt that sulfur burn in quite a while, and I'm itching for it. I have finally got a good rack of horns over at the deer camp. I don't know if I'm gonna shoot him or not. I may shoot me a doe. I've got several does. It's got twins, so I don't want to shoot one of them. I've got a couple of single does showing up. One that I may shoot out of that tide weed blind. I don't know. But I got to go over there to the deer camp and clean up one of my cameras. There's some pine straw dangling in front of it. And it really hampers that infrared. Now, in the daylight, it's just a brown line in front of the camera. Don't bother a thing. I can see what I need to see. But at night, it blocks that infrared for whatever reason. And everything's real dark out there. So, Martin said, my wife tells me I'm a graduate of the Brown Thumb of gardening. What's sad is I know how to grow stuff, but I get sidetracked and too much going on that I neglect things. It ain't a lack of knowing what to do. It's too many irons in the fire to see after. And stuff like animals and plants takes everyday commitment. Regardless of what's going on in your world, they got to have a drink of water, and it'll kill them if you don't. Michael English, let me give you some bad news. I went over there and run that set of traps Monday, Tuesday, and they ain't a beaver sign nowhere. I just knew I'd have a beaver in every one of them sets. There's not no beavers nowhere there. They have not attempted to dam anything up, nothing. I walked up and down that creek for a half a mile either direction, and they ain't no sign of beavers up and down that creek nowhere. All the water drained off. That's it. So I told him, I said, we're going to let them, I'm going to leave the traps, and we're not coming back for a week. So we're going Monday to the place that I filmed the big hut out there, and it looks like a lake, and the fish was jumping. We're going to tear a hole in that dam, and we're going to sit there with a 17, and we're going to shoot beavers that night and camp out Monday night. We're going to spend the night there. And then we're going to go over to the other place where I caught all the beavers at the snake den. And we're going to dig it out too. Because the whole goal of all this is we got to drain the water off of these properties so they can log them this winter. So all them people at them deer camps is really going to be proud of them when they get through logging. So. Donald, these, I didn't even really look at what time they were in the night. I've had spikes and stuff like that all through the day. I've had deer all day today in and out. But the one bit, I've got I got 2 or 3 pictures, but one time that this decent buck come out, and he's not a giant. He's just better than anything else I've seen. And he looked like an 8-point with a really tall rack. So that's why I say I don't know if I'm going to shoot him or not, because for me to decide, yeah, I want to shoot that one, he's got to look directly at me with his ears out like this, and them horns has got to come out past the tips of them ears for me to say that's one I'm gonna shoot at. If they inside the tips of them ears, I'm gonna let him grow another year. Cause I ain't horn hunting, so I ain't just itching to shoot the first set of horns. If I don't shoot nothing but 2 or 3 does this year, I'm happy. I'm actually meat hunting, but if I'm gonna make it challenging and shoot at a buck, I want to leave shoot at a good one. Or if somebody's just needing to kill a little old rack of horns, let one of them young guys that ain't killed a whole lot of good deer shoot that deer. I ain't one of them greedy like, he's a rack of horns, I got to kill him. If he's a good one and I get a shot at him, I'll kill him. But if it ain't, I'll let him walk. I shot 2 7-points last year that I really kind of wished I'd have left alone. I really do. But at the moment, I got itching and wanted to shoot them. One I shot with the Buffalo Classic, and one I shot with, what did I shoot the other one? One I shot with my 270 short mag. At the water hole, old shooting house. Which video, Brian? Trying to figure out where I was at the water hole. What? I don't know. I had to. A Hopkins and Allen buggy gun. Huh. That's a new one on me there. Yeah, Michael, I don't know if them beavers moved out before we got there or what. The reason we left the traps, when that water's gone, I figured they'll come back and go to working on it. And if they do, we ready to hammer them. I did take the foot trap up out of the mouth of that culvert because when I got there, it was buried in sand that deep. And I just pulled it out. The water washed all that sand up. And I was suspecting that would happen, but I wasn't sure. Don Vincent, thank you. I'm trying to teach Brody some life lessons, and I had a bunch of people scolded me about how I didn't tell him to get his hand at the right place on the right. But in the excitement of the moment, you can't fix everything. And somebody, the guy that got smart with me, I mentioned earlier, he was trying to tell me, oh, you ain't got to hold that rod tip up. Well, with both ends, you do. Absolutely, you do. Every time that you dip that rod tip down with a grinnell at that fish, he's coming off. Because I was trying to hold it up and I let slack in that line to hand it to Brody, and then when he'd go to reel it, the fish is gone. They just that way. Grinnell, if you don't get that hook set hard and hook him through the mouth, a lot of times he's just holding on to that bait, and as long as that bait's pulling, he's holding on to it. You let slack get in there, he'll turn it loose. And if it ain't hooked through his lip, and they got a hard mouth, so holding that rod tip up is imperative with Grinnell. If you dip it down at him, he's either going to break it or he's coming loose. He's coming off of it. So that was the more important thing. Yeah, Brody could have moved his hand up in front of the reel and made it easier, but there's some things Brody's got to learn on his own, and mistakes is the best teacher. I have learned way more from failures than I ever had at being successful. So letting Brody lose fish, do stuff, I mean, he's like me. He's my young'un. He's just like me. You can tell him, he don't get it. you let him find out the hard way, that sticks with him. So, there's reasons that I do some of the things I do. Some of it's just, well, that's what happened, but I want to get him away from the TVs, and I don't want to deprive him of TV and the iPad and learning technology, because they got to learn all that too. But I want Brody to have a fair chance at fishing and hunting, shooting BB guns. I mean, playing outside. You ride around, and 90% of kids today are in the house on an iPad or watching TV. And I had somebody said, well, the youngins today, all they want to do is play video games. Well, that really ain't them youngins' fault. That's a mama and daddy's fault that was looking for an easy babysitter. That's what that was. Just give them that, it'll keep them shut up while I can do what I need to do. Because I've been there, I've been guilty of this. Whoever bought them gadgets and put them in the house, that's whose fault it is. It ain't the youngin's fault for wanting to play with it. You bought it and give it to them, that's whose fault it is. So unless when you give them a video game system, unless you're diligent about regulating how much time they spend on it, well, naturally that's all they gonna want to do because it's fun. So a lot of times I ain't gonna blame the young'uns for being the way they are. It's the parents' fault for letting them be the way they are. And that's why I'm trying to show people through videos that, hey, let them kids get out and play. Turn all that mess off. They'll go outside and start playing with toys. When I was hanging my bow stands, you were by yourself that day, right before you found the bag with the batteries in it. Okay, that was at the deer camp. That was, I don't know where the old green stay. I'll have to go back and look. I'll have to watch the video. Because I was at one point I was at my green stand. The one I built down here and painted, it's over at one place. But I don't know down in there. They may be a stand that I overlooked. I ain't noticed. I'll have to check. Trying to think where I was. At the water hole, I know where that was at. That wasn't a stand. I know what you're talking about now. I know exactly. That is an old, if I ain't mistaken, it's an old calf feeder sitting there in the woods. Everything's just grew up around it because there's an old building right down that has fell in, and there's a couple of old farm implements. That was an old farm, and it just growed up into stuff. Now, I think they got some of the junk out, but I know what you're talking about now. It's not a shooting house. It's I think it's a calf feeder or something. I'll have to look closer, but yeah, I walked right by it. You're right. You're right. I know what you're talking about now. It's an Underhammer short barrel percussion file, I'll say. That is interesting. Yeah, it took me a minute, Brian, to figure out what it was, but I remember now because I have to go back and that footage play through in my mind, and I remember seeing it for about a second. It was right there on the side as I was walking out. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I was trying to keep some of that stuff out of the frame, but it's just old farming stuff. It got left in the woods. And the land that we're on is private land. It's not like timber company. So it has been leased from private people. For the deer camp's been leasing it for years and years and years. And that block of land is the one that they said is the reason the deer camp dues this year is $500 instead of 1,000. I mean, 1,500 instead of 1,000. They went up $500 because we ain't got but about 14 members, and we got a little over 2,000 acres, and that one block of land went from about $7,000 for the lease up to about $8,500. So they was like, we're gonna just let that go. I said, that's a huge chunk of your hunting club. You let that go and let somebody else get it, and you've lost your hunting club. Cause I want my money back if we lose that. So they decided to keep it. So now we're paying $1,500, which I'm okay with. Less members means there's more area for me to hunt. Don Vincent, I'm trying to teach him. Let's check on this meat again, y'all. I'm getting hungry. I'm ready to eat. I ain't getting to eat yet, but let's see what we got going on in here. I bet it's done enough to eat. I don't know. I'm fixing to crank the fire up some. And I'm fixing to put the lid on it. I'm gonna get some air in there. We're gonna warm it up. We're gonna cook it hard now for a little bit. I need to tender it up. It's got plenty of juice. My biggest concern was all the juice evaporate out. Well, the problem was it got up to 350 the other day, but I could eat it right now, but it ain't falling apart like I wanted. I'm gonna let it cook a little bit more. We may not even get to eat it on camera tonight. Y'all don't want to watch me sit here and stuff my face. No way. Do you? It's more pleasant to sit here and talk about hunting and fishing and all such as that. What you doing, sport?
What are you doing?
I'm sitting here drinking coffee and shooting bull.
Guess who this is?
Who is that? Mamo?
No, it's Alex.
It looks like Mamo. Show it to him. Got the hair in a bun. Lego people.
Yeah, her name is
Stuart
Alex.
Moore said put Flex Seal on the bottom of that pan. I don't know if that Flex Seal will stick good with it. Anyway, I don't know. I'm thinking about lighting this candle. The mosquitoes was pretty, but I think it's cooling off. They about thinned out. I'm gonna tell y'all my next conundrum I got out here is this fireplace. There was a big old box stowed up in there. I think it was a box that Rhonda sent us all that stuff in, was sitting out here. And we had filled it up with paper and garbage and sacks and junk. It had been sitting on that table, and I put it in there, and we lit it and burned all that garbage the other day. And then I put some wood on there, and that smoke just drifted all over. I can't for the life of me make that smoke go out the chimney up there. And I don't know what I can do to improve it aside from spending about $6,000 and building a real fireplace, which is what I want to do. And I'm going to eventually. But I need to make that thing draft. And I don't know if it's because this box is not airtight that the smoke just drifts, or if it's the design of the throat, because I have tapered the top up to the chimney. It's tapered in there up to that, but I don't know. Anybody got any more suggestions? Because last year I had a bunch of people say, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that," and everything they said I had done didn't work. Uh, Boy, I get a lot of these pop-up ads. Y'all getting all them pop-up ads on your chat room thing? I don't know why that's that way. It all. But I probably need to, and I thought about doing a dry stack. You know, you take them solid center blocks, and they're like the paving solid. They're for like putting in the foundation, them big solid pads. So I thought about coming out here and pouring me a pad, a concrete flat, and then you can dry stack those solid blocks up. And that might work, but I don't know. At that point, I'd just about as well off to buy me some brick and some mortar and just build me a fireplace. David, it's probably about it's probably 6 to 8 foot above that roof line. But the problem is none of this is enclosed. Everything is wide open, so it's the natural draft of, like, in the house, you can seal all the doors, shut the doors, and it'll draft better than if you open one of the doors, all of a sudden it don't draft the same in the house. Well, this out here, I mean, everything's wide open, and that roof really don't have any effect on this, so to speak. It probably does a little, but not a lot, because all of this is wide open. But that chimney from the top of this is probably 12 foot tall altogether, because I added an extension on it trying to see if the height would help, and it has not helped, not none. And that pipe, I made that pipe out of tin, so I'm thinking it's because everything is not airtight around this box. I'm thinking if that box where I screwed that tin, if all of that was airtight, it would probably suck more. I'm my thinking. I don't know that. All of that has been a trial and error type thing. And if I knew what to seal it with that wouldn't melt and run out, I would take something and seal everything in it. But I don't know what to use to seal it that wouldn't cost a fortune to seal it. Brian, I took some sheets of tin and propped up over dropped the face of it down. I have brought this down to about here. I propped a piece on either side where I made a smaller hole, and it still smoke had just come out. It was like it was a smoke. It was almost like it just couldn't go up the top. So I don't know what the deal is. I've even tried to seal around right here. You see, I put some liquid nails or something I had. I thought, well, maybe it's getting too much air right here. So I put that around there to seal it, and that didn't help. And I'm going to tell you, if you get a hot, roaring fire, like if I get it just flames licking, it does pretty good. But if it ever gets to where it's just coals in there and a log on there, and that smoke will just boil all under here. So, I mean, that may be the best it's going to do for what it is. I don't know. But anyway, it's aggravating. I really wanted to lay me a slab and see if that would help, because I don't know if the temperature of the ground may be having an effect on it. Would that change things? Like, I don't know. I ain't sure about it. I ain't sure. Y'all's buddies done took to his chair over here. Well, well, well. What we got on the agenda now? What y'all? We need to change the conversation into something everybody can get involved in. We can get to talking about. I done run out of stuff to say. We got 192 people in here though tonight, y'all. I do want to say while I am at a lull, thank all of you for joining in. I know that when we first start, there's a group in and some people drift out. Most of the people that comment constantly stay in here, but I know a lot of y'all people that get on watch a little while in between when they can, which is totally understandable. Oh, the wood ain't dry her season. No, that wood been stacked under there for 2 years. It's season. Yeah, it's dry. I'll show you where my wood's at. That's wood that I cut last year. It's stacked in here under a roof. It's dry and seasoned. I trust me on that. So don't start with the obvious. It ain't obvious.
Dad.
What?
Yeah, I built that Lego set all by myself.
You built what?
I built that Lego set all by myself.
Did you show them that crossbow your mama brought you from wherever she was at the other day? She went to the Canton flea market. Well, they can't hardly see it. You look. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Turn it loose. It's got a piece of PVC pipe split, is what the bow is. And they got a dowel rod with an eraser on there. And I'm going to raise this up. They notched that dowel rod and then grooved it so the clothespin's hooked on a notch on the top. And it'll actually shoot. It'll probably shoot 20 yards. I mean, you got to lob it, but it's pretty unique.
Would you mind moving the chair?
Do what?
Do you mind moving that chair?
Do I mind moving that chair? That chair in your way? He rides that hammock pretty hard. Oh, me. What? You want me to throw that one more time? Well, give it him.
Wait, let me throw it. Okay.
Now he's over yonder. He didn't even see it. Them two try to play together. Roscoe don't like to go get nothing Brody throws. He go get it? He likes for me to throw it. No, he did go get it. I was finna say he wouldn't even go get it after Brody throwed it.
He doesn't care who ever throws it.
Oh. Hey, Jennifer, that boy right there is getting to be a sight. Now, he comes up with some stuff. Brody, let's talk about something.
What?
You started in about that when we was catching that fish, and I didn't know it till we was editing the video. That come here, we got fresh minnows. Where'd you come up with that? You don't know? That just come to your mind. Do you remember hollering that? Come here, Mr. Grinnell, we got fresh minnows.
Yeah. That's the...
I was zoned in on catching that fish. I didn't have no idea what he was over there hollering. I mean, my mind, I had tunnel vision. You know, I get excited.
Big old Roscoe.
I genuinely get excited catching Grinnell, but Brody was over there when I edited that video. I got tickled. He was hollering, come here, we got fresh minnows.
Yeah, that's the Grinnell's call. That's a Grinnell's call.
Stuart Monroe said that Flex Seal will stick to your teeth if you let it dry. Well, is it gonna make a mess out of the bottom of my pan? Roscoe, he's liking playing with this. He keeps bringing it back. I'll be honest with y'all, as a metal roofer, my encounters with Flex Seal were never good. Because it was always where somebody had attempted to patch a roof with Flex Seal and it never worked. So that may be why when somebody says Flex Seal, I'm like, you know, I hadn't used it for simple stuff like that. But I've been on several metal roofs where they had really caked it on something and it never stopped a leak. So if it did, though, I wouldn't have got called, right? So, you know. Ricky, I noticed he was bouncing pretty good when we first hung that grinnell, because he done been wanting me to go over there and get after him. How many crappie did you catch the other day? You don't know?
I don't know. If I don't like that, I don't really know.
Yeah, Brian, he stroked slam out
Wait,
like
I'm
old
gonna
Fred
throw it.
Sanford. Throw it good. He's throwing it. He went after it. Yeah, he fell slam out there. I mean, just went limp, just laid down. Right out there in the middle of all them red bugs and ticks and things. Greetings from Trinidad. Welcome, Dio Cetero. From Trinidad. Boy, we getting people from all over everywhere. Thank y'all. Jennifer, that's kind of my experience with Flex Seal. But now I'll tell you, I will say that it'll stick to stuff. It just didn't seal the hole up. Cause we tried to get it off of some of that stuff. It didn't want to come off. We wound up, you know, having to pull some metal off and change it. So. From Canada. Canada. I always say Canada. Because they Canadians from Canada. I'm just being funny. Don't get mad at me. Martin, I get to talk to people from all over the country. I get phone calls from people from various places in the United States. And it's amazing to me that, you know, the different accents. And I listened to one comedian, his talking about, he said, y'all picking on me about my accent. He said, but y'all sound like a traffic cone to me. My phone saying it's dying, and I would have sworn that this thing here, oh, I got a 86%. Why ain't that charging my phone? Watch. You're going to have to run somewhere else. Maybe it ain't plugged up good. Anyway, I can't check my battery on my phone with that hooked up. I had it plugged up thinking it was charging it, but all of a sudden it comes up and says, I'm dying, low battery. So I have to check and make sure all that's working. But ways in that bottom of that bowl, I know the source of the leak on it. Oh, Lord. New Brunswick by the Atlantic Ocean next to Maine. Michelle wants to come up there and see that part of the country. We went to Pennsylvania, but we didn't make it way on over there to where y'all at. Greg, I don't have a night vision scope. They did send me some night vision binoculars. They're like a binocular, and what's a wild garter works pretty good. The problem I have with it is it has AA batteries in it. Casio sent me one that has a rechargeable battery pack in there, but it's not as high quality a tool as the other one. All right, Brody, after that, that's enough. He's tuckered out. Find something else to do. Brody, he'll wear anybody out. When you wear right, Roscoe's just creeping out there to get it now. Don't throw it no more. He's tired, okay? Get it, boy. Get it, Roscoe. I have to motivate him a little bit. He don't even know where it went. He's hunting it. It's done got dark out there. You can't see where it wound up. We got down there, y'all, though, back to the fishing, and the whole time we was trying to crappie fish, them grinnell was steadily rolling the water. So what has happened down there is that swamp is very, very dry. So all the fish and all the water is consolidating to those deeper holes. Everything's in them. The bad thing about it is at night or early in the morning, an otter finds that hole and he will flat wipe out some fish. I think that is what happened to one of my hot spots for crappie. I had a little honey hole that I could drive up to and just stand there and catch crappie left and right. And I'm trying to see what light he made off with. He went and got a light and never shut the door. And he's barefooted out there and that ground's starting to get cold. But anyway, the otters will get in there and just wipe it, grinnell out. And I think in my crappie honey hole down here, I think there ain't no crappie left in it because it's been about 2 years since I really caught any crappie out of it. And they got to be just gone. Ricky Johnson, I am ready to film some hunting videos. We filmed one squirrel hunt, but I don't know. All right, don't throw it no more. Let him lay it down and be done with it. You go plug that light. Oh, that ain't my light. Where'd you get that light?
Mama's ready.
Oh.
Mommy is
And Brian, I don't know what an otter hide's worth. All I know is the skunks is high.
Looks like he wants to go in the can.
Randy McCullough looking for rabbit tobacco. Look on you in around pine trees, up on the hills, really dry areas seems to be where I find it. There's a lot of it at our deer camp. I don't have any right over here close. I'm close to this swamp. They ain't a lot right in here. I find a few plants here and yonder, but back over there in them hills, up on the hills is where it's at. But anyway, the crappie, I'm enjoying doing some crappie fishing. What I'm wanting to do is get my canoe rigged up where I can travel around in my canoe and squirrel hunt out of it and crappie fish at the same time. So I got a battery showed up that I am going to do a video converting my big long 16-foot canoe over to basically an electric motorboat. Problem is I've got to call and have it registered. I don't think that's a major problem, but it does have to be registered if you put a trolling motor on a canoe. What I'm going to do is rig it up where I got a trolling motor on the side of it. And I'm going to put that lithium battery in there. And that thing, man, I ought to be able to ride all over that swamp with a trolling motor, which obviously I'll put a canoe paddle in there. Battery dies, take it off, throw it in the back. And I tell you what I can do. You can troll to get wherever you want to, and then all you got to do is unbolt that trolling motor and lay it in the back, and then you can paddle a little bit and shoot ducks and stuff out of the canoe as long as it don't have the motor on it. Then you get ready to leave, you put the motor back on it and motor back out with an electric motor. Technically, they can't say anything about that. Jennifer, you are moving. Lord, I don't wish moving on nobody. Moving, you find all kind of stuff that you ain't been able to find in years. Oh, that's where that was. But Lord, it's a hassle gathering all that stuff up and boxing it, moving it, and finding a place to put it, and then you go back and get it. It's a hassle. Anyway. Seems like somebody just bought a shirt somewhere. I get notifications. It pops up on this thing too. All kind of stuff going on. Me and Brody got out here. I got tickled the other day. We took Roscoe down to the woods, and they ain't a lot of squirrels, y'all, for whatever reason. That's another subject we can get on. Y'all that are squirrel hunting, are y'all seeing a lot of squirrels? Because I ain't really paid no attention, but after start talking to people around, we don't have a lot of squirrels here. And I don't know if they starved to death because last year we didn't have no acorns in this part of the country. The late frost killed them off, and then it got really dry. So what survived dried up, and it was just terrible. There wasn't no acorns last year, so there was a lot of squirrels at the beginning of the season. But I noticed it when I bought that rifle. I bought a CZ 457 bolt action 22 left-handed bolt. Got a really good deal on it. And I went in February to squirrel hunt, and I didn't hardly see no squirrels. And I just thought, well, they done hibernated. Well, this year we ain't seeing a lot of squirrels here. I've been in the swamp, and I've seen maybe six at the most, 6 or 7. Killed 3. I mean, and that was in 2 trips. I killed 4 actually. So are y'all seeing squirrels wherever y'all at? Anyway, skipping past that, we took Roscoe back here running around because there's 1 or 2 squirrels on our little old place back here in these edges of these woods. And they survived on corn and stuff through the winter. Well, Roscoe didn't find one to tree it. Brody, we was walking around, just had Brody out, and he said, I don't think he's worth knocking in the head. I said, well, we might ought to better train him. So we got out and got a squirrel tail that I had dried, and we soaked it in water and got the scent back in it. Went to drag it around. Well, Roscoe's finding it right off. But I ain't decided if he ain't smelling my track where I walked through the yard and hung it, so I was letting Brody go do it while I said, well, yesterday he wasn't doing too good at finding them. So we got to work on, got to get a fresh hide that's got a good smell, and then we going to find it. But now he eventually found them. So, Jimmy, we have not had a lot of luck squirrel hunting. They must have, Uncle Sasquatch. I don't know where they moved to. I don't know where they at. Because I noticed this year, usually they eat our corn, slam up, that we grow. And this year we didn't have a lot of problems with the squirrels. So I don't know where they moved to. Homesteading pasture, we are about 70 degrees right now. Let me look what it's telling us we're at. 62 right now. I'm looking at that. I guess I'm off. It is 62 degrees right now. Darlene, I need to come check that out. Jackson, I have been through Jackson, Tennessee, but I didn't really know that there was any mounds there. Jennifer said that moving was horrible. So much heavy stuff to move and everything, plus a 3-hour drive each way. Yeah, I can imagine I'd be ready to be done with that. Randy, we loaded with acorns this year here too. I mean, we got the acorns this year. Y'all, I'm going to check on my meat over here. I am ready to eat. I don't want to. Ooh, that fire ain't burning good. That grill ain't but on 150 degrees. I thought I was really stoking the fire up. Let me add a piece of wood to it. Some of this wood, I moved it all around and the bugs got in it. But them bugs don't know that ain't I'm gonna wipe some oil on that chicken fryer. It ain't really that hot though. It ain't even hot enough to smoke. It'll be all. We're gonna heat it up one day this week and finish seasoning that. Let me take a look-see over in this pot. See, it's still doing good. I just want to make sure it don't dry out. I'm probably gonna wait by design and eat after I turn the live off, because I ain't even got a plate out here, nothing. But I am enjoying cooking it. And it's cooking low and slow. It'll be a lot more tender, especially now that I got that lid up on there. I need to go fill my coffee cup up again here, but I'll have to run off. Randy McDaniel, my sawtooth oaks right here in the backyard, they so many on the ground under it, and they ain't a squirrel comes up here in the yard. Neither Roscoe don't let no squirrel in the yard much. I need to get out there and rake them up and put them in a sack and take them and pull them out somewhere for the squirrels or the deer or something. They love them things, but they not gonna nothing eat them right here in the yard where they at. They just gonna ruin there. So as they sprout, I transplant the trees. I've got some flower pots that they grow in. Roscoe's down there treeing something now, or barking at it, or scaring it off, or doing something. Mike, I had no idea that a squirrel would migrate. Absolutely no idea. Well, Jennifer, I'm happy for you. I'm praying for me a place on the Tom Bigby River. Now, I like my place here. I want to keep this place, but I want me a camp house on it. I want to go up there and stay, and I'm afraid, though, after I get up there on that river, I'm going to want to permanently be there. I love to fish, and I would give anything to just have a river right out the back door that I could go fishing when I got ready, and I could put a knife shop there and do what I want. My next thing is, before my life's over, I want to build a real log cabin. I want to build one. So you got to be particular about where you get on that river, because you got high places and low places. Well, if you're in them lower ones, you got to build it on stilts by code and regulation and all that. So I'll have to look. Yeah, Bigfoot, David. Uncle Sasquatch said it wasn't him. James Heineken, good night. Well, anyway, the squirrels, if they migrate, how far, Mike Culpepper, do they migrate? You said they migrate more than any other animal, just not as far. Do they migrate like a mile, or just, across the property, or I mean, how far do they go? Because that swamp down there, I've seen some squirrels in it, but it's not full of them like it has been in years past. And nowhere in this area have I got up in the morning and heard very much shooting. I got to yawning. Now I have y'all yawning. Lord, you wanted to build a log cabin. I don't want to build it with an axe and chop it out, but I want to build one, and I don't want to build a giant one. I want to build like a hunting camp type, something I can handle, where I can take a tractor, pick the logs up, take a chainsaw, cut the notches, just build it. But I'm going to build it with a tractor and the forks and a chainsaw and such as this. Probably put floor joist in it to put the wood on. And all we've got is these pine trees like I've got right here under this to build. So we're going to see how solid this stuff all stays. And if the termites gets in it or anything like that happens, I'm keeping an eye on that. So that's one of the reasons there ain't been a slab put under here yet. Um, Jeffrey, if I was doing what you're doing, there's no way I'd slow down till I built a log cabin. But it's just because I want to build one. It's not the fastest and the most practical or the most economic thing to do, I can promise you. But for me, it's about the challenge. I wouldn't slow down unless that's what I was doing. Foul Isle said from here to yonder, there ain't no migration. They say up to half a mile to 5 miles, depending on the food. Well, I'm going to tell you, as far as last year in the acorns, they wasn't no acorns in 5 miles. Not of here. Well, you know, if y'all want to know the honest to God truth, I have seen a lot of squirrels around here run over in the roads, but now I just assumed that was because a lot of our hardwood trees are along ditches and roadways. Uh, Everything out in the middle of Perry has been planted in pine plantations. Everybody cut their timber and planted pines because they thought, oh, that'll be our retirement. We'll get rich, you know. Well, now you can't buy a pickup truck with what you cut the whole pines off your whole place with. So I don't know. It's the squirrels. I don't know. I have seen a lot though run over in the roads. Martin Meltzer said Mike's comment about the squirrel migration reminded me of the Meltzer participation in the Great Western Migration. Back in the day, said they moved from Rushville, Indiana to Shelbyville, Indiana, about 12 miles. They really packed up and left home, didn't they? They started walking and said, man, foot on this. I ain't going a step further. This is too far to tote all this junk. Oh, Lord. Gray said I had one run in front of my car for about a half a mile just the other day. Said, reckon he was migrating. He might have been, or he might have been going back home, reckon. He might have been headed home. There that woman comes back. Where you been?
On a phone call.
A phone call. You ever thought about eating any of this Boston butt? I don't know, but I'm to the bite to the place.
It's 9 o'clock. It's past it. I've been eating popcorn. I ate a cookie and.
She's backslid on her diet. You're gonna have to reprint. Yeah, I had to dodge a fox squirrel today in the road, matter of fact. No, it was yesterday. I didn't go nowhere today. Local life, I didn't know they migrated either. I thought a squirrel had a den tree and that was home for life, really, till somebody sawed it down.
Did you check that meat?
Yeah, I've checked it several times.
Is it still bleeding?
Bleeding?
Or is it
No.
falling apart?
It ain't doing either. It's ready to eat, but it ain't tender as I wanted it. But I'm about ready to the point that I can eat it tender or not.
We always wait too late to start our supper.
Well, I didn't get here till late.
What time y'all eat supper at night? Y'all eat early or
6
late?
o'clock. 6 o'clock is supper time, but I ain't never in the house by then.
Biscuit,
I
come
can
here.
tell you.
Come tell everybody, hey.
I don't come in until it is dark.
Look, say hey, everybody.
We named him Biscuit. That's his
The
name.
Uncle Sasquatch, he saw Biscuit in the background. Woo. What's your daddy doing? His little heart.
Uncle Sasquatch said about 5. Lewis said 7:30. That one thing, y'all, I like about wintertime. 2 things. There ain't no swatting and sweating.
What's he doing?
It's cool weather. I can put on enough clothes, stay warm. I can build a fire. There's just a lot I like about wintertime.
Is he scaring you?
But the next thing is it gets dark early enough that folks like me that ain't got good sense can see to come on in. You know, on Lonesome Dove, he said, anybody can see when the sun's going down. Well, that's kind of how I operate. When it starts getting dark, I go, well, it's time to go in. It ain't got nothing to do with the clock.
He's scared.
Why?
Roscoe's barking.
Come here. Come here, pup. Watch it. What's he barking at? What's he barking at? Easy. 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 You want back to mama? He liked you. He wanted his mama. Scoundrel.
Yeah.
You scalawag. Between 5 and 6, Lloyd Morris said 4:30.
It's better to
Butterfly
eat
Farms
early.
said 8:30. Butterfly Farms, we on about the same page because we have to eat after it gets dark and I come in. In the summer, it could be 9:30.
I like to eat early if we could, but I can't ever get Justin to come in to eat. Ooh.
File Owl said when it gets dark is when I go out. I'm a night owl.
Go see what he's barking at. Go down there with him. Go. Go see.
David Russian said squirrels do migrate from one corn pile to the other.
One thing that I told him we wasn't doing with Biscuit is Biscuit's not going to get table food. And he ain't going to learn to sleep in the bed. You done been feeding him table food? Justin.
Whoa! Who left and went? She went to the Canton Flea Market, left what day? Wednesday
Oh,
night.
I had run out of dog food.
She left Wednesday night and didn't come back till when? Today or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday evening she come back. So she prepared Puppy's food for us. You know what it was? She cut up hot dog weenies in a sack. And then she gonna holler, we ain't gonna feed him table food. What is a hot dog weenie?
I had run out of, yeah, but we don't want to feed him what he sees us eating.
What?
Uh-oh.
Roscoe's a little bit jealous of him, ain't you? Ow! Little sharp needle teeth is sharp. You scalawag, you. Come on, Roscoe. Ah, don't bite, Roscoe, pup.
Roscoe's getting where he can tolerate Pup just a little bit.
We gotta quit calling him pup, or else that's what he's gonna think his name is.
Biscuit.
He's fat as a butterball turkey, look. He ain't missed no meals.
He's a pig. Oh, you go and you get up there with Daddy.
Jen said 7:30. Sharon said between 5 and 6. Mountain Survival 1 from Utah, originally from Duck Hill, Mississippi. I have heard of Duck Hill. Jeffrey Gray said Duck Hill. My sausage onions are on the smoker. I only got it on 225. I'm on about 225 on mine, honestly. Let me look. I tell y'all what, y'all come on over here. It's time to get some of it. Look at there. We are sitting right on 250. I'm about ready, though, to get this mess off of here and go to eat. Matter of fact, I imagine it's fixing to come off of him. Get my... I may ought to go ahead and be smart about this since it's kind of hot and it's got my valuables in it. I'm fixing to get this out. So what I'm gonna do is get it like this. I'm fixing to set it over here on this right here. I'm gonna shut that lid in case I need to go back on there with it. All right. I need to get her to bring me a plate. I know we passed 9 o'clock. I usually done shut this all down. Oh, y'all, look at him. I wished we had that smell-o-vision. Son. Hey, that chicken fryer paid for itself tonight, boys. Oh, yeah. Tender now. I'm happy. It's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Hot though it is. Woo, hot, hot, hot. Did I mention it was hot? I'm going to have to go in there and get me a plate. I'm wanting that bite right there. Look at that fat hanging off of there. Oh, that's fine. Oh, that is fine. Uncle Versus said a many of food we tried to have swallowed that.
Is it done?
It's done. Oh, it's delicious.
Why is it red?
That's a smoke ring, woman. You let me
Yeah,
have
I got
that.
it hung in there.
Look, if it's tender enough that you can shove a round tongue off down in the middle of that meat, it's right. Charlie Pickerel brought me a whole bunch of implements over here, and in it is this here fork thing. Right. Yeah. Look at that pretty work on there. We're going to get to eat. It's late, but we're going to get to eat, ain't we? That spoon I made. All right. Which plate's mine? Which one's yours? You want this piece?
Yeah, it don't matter. That's good.
There's a bone in that thing, ain't it? Oh, yeah. Tilt that camera down a little bit. They can't see that plate. Oh, y'all, look at there. Mm-hmm. I got to whittle around this bone here. Roscoe's standing over here like we eating late, but don't go. Oh, that. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, that's going to be so delicious. I'm about to starve and might not. You want what? Right here. Well, that's just right. You want one more?
I had a lot of fat on it.
Did?
Maybe it didn't.
That ain't fat. That's all
This is all
meat.
I want right here.
All right, well, let's put the lid back on it. That chicken fryer has paid for itself tonight, boys. I mean to tell you. I don't know if I'm going to eat with a fork or my fingers. Let me set y'all back up over here. I don't know if my phone's charging or if it's going to die on it. If it dies on us right in the middle, well, we love y'all.
Your phone going dead?
Well, it come up and said that a while ago and I got it plugged to a battery pack.
Mine's going dead too. Mine's in the red.
Oh, Lord. And I still got to go film just in time. I have not had time to do that. It may not happen this weekend.
You didn't get it done just in time, did you?
I ain't had a chance. Lord, we're so thankful for this food. We pray that you bless it to the nourishment of our bodies to give us strength and good health. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Y'all, I may be crazy as a bat, but I think that whatever the stuff is we eating is what's causing cancer, and I think praying over your every meal is the key. I really do. I'm sure there's some people with cancer that's prayed over the meals, but I think your best chance is if you pray over all that stuff. Well, I don't know no other better way. Man. If that ain't the best Boston butt I ain't cooked in a while. I kept a good eye on it this time. I didn't just fire that grill up so hot and forget about it.
It is good. It's hot.
Mm. The later you eat, the harder it is to control that ring right above your belt. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I keep telling him. We might lose weight if we eat at 5
Hey.
o'clock.
Or if we'd start eating a big breakfast and skip supper.
We can do that. I'd rather cook breakfast than supper.
We got a fella in our neighborhood that he come by one day. We was cooking breakfast. And he ain't big as nothing. And Daddy said, "You want to eat?" He said, "Oh, no, I don't want to eat nothing." He said, "If I go to eating 2 or 3 times a day," he said, "I start gaining weight." He eat 1 time a day. That was it. So, y'all, I don't know if you've seen that, but y'all see that smoke ring in that meat? That's a little old Boston butt that we've had in the freezer, ain't we?
Yeah.
That's the one we bought at Sam's.
That one's still in there.
Is it? I get this and ate up. I may want to cook the other one.
It was a big one.
So the liquid, y'all, I put Italian dressing and Dale's in there. Is all I had for the liquid.
You buy this meat?
Man.
Is Roscoe one inside the bone?
No, he's watching us eat, so if you throwed it right now, ain't no way he'd run off. He thinks that I might drop something. But good as this is, we're going to have to go cut him a piece because I'm sure not dropping none of this.
It's getting chilly out.
About need a fire, don't we?
No, I'm not building a fire. I'm just going to go to bed.
I love to build a fire, and she absolutely hates it.
The only reason is it smokes my house up.
Yeah. We're going to have to remember that. You know what? You need to make enough money to buy us a real fireplace out here.
When he builds a fire in that, my house smells like a fire pit.
What?
Can you please light a fire?
No. Mama said no.
It's about 9. It's bedtime.
You want a piece of meat? Brody wanting a fire and his mama won't let him have it.
Well, don't you go in the house and eat?
John, this is as good as I've done on a Boston butt. John Culpepper said he had to go put the fancy wild hog to bed. I know what he meant.
I didn't.
He's doing patrol over on the deer camp.
Yeah.
He's putting them wild hogs to sleep.
Mom, can you go inside and eat?
Yeah, why?
So we can light a fire out here.
I'm eating. I'm not going to stop working no fire.
We're going to go to bed. We'll build a fire.
Hey, Brody, go over and look at that firebox. There is a fire. Go over and look at that grill.
Handle's hot.
That poker's hanging up on the wall there. You stick pine cones in there. He just wants to play in it. It's all it amounted to. There's a poker behind you. But don't knock them coals out on your feet. Might be hot, son. Look, you holding the hot end, you silly. You don't see the handle on it? He'll learn the hard way. Yep, I won't never put that little thin pan back on there. I'll cook in that chicken fire from now on. It has just become a designated cook on the grill implement. We got 3 of them. It worked a whole lot better than that other junk. I'll show y'all in a minute what I've been using. I knew I didn't like it.
Yeah, let's go on fire on that pine cone. I'm just looking at that pine cone.
All right.
Are you ready to make a fire right there?
No, sir.
Are you gonna come back in?
I'm going in here in just in a minute.
Let me just a minute.
No. So y'all, these roasting pans is what I have been using to try to cook. And you know they thin as all get out. Well, y'all look in that one. This is the one I recently cooked in that I got sidetracked, and you see that crud stuck to it. Well, the problem is when you get that fire hot, that heat ain't evenly dispersed, and it'll get the inside of what you're cooking hot right off the bat. Well, that cast iron will kind of deflect it for a little bit. It takes it a little longer. It don't go up and down real fast. So I think cooking over wood, the cast iron's the way to go. So I'm sold on that. Foul Owl, I have got I built my own smoker's fire pit. What I done is I got the drum out of an old dryer and set it up on some rocks. It's got all them holes under there. For whatever reason, that joker will flat burn up some stuff. We burn trash and garbage and stuff in it. Okay, basically, we burn boxes in it. See it? I don't burn just garbage. Road picks up, but if I got a lot of boxes and junk like that, I'll burn them in it. Because used to doing the clay, I had a lot of clay boxes. We burned all them, but everything we order and stuff. Jeffrey said the next project here is a cooking station. That is why, Jeffrey, I said build you a 10 or 12 foot front porch. This is 20 something foot and it's full. You can't build too big, and the reason is with that tiny house, you're going to spend more time outside than you do inside. So if you get you a big porch and get you a fire pit right out there to the edge of it, and you can keep all your cooking, because here's the reason bigger is better. When we get them blowing rains in the spring, it'll blow that rain way up under there, 3 or 4 foot around the edges. So if you got this little old bitty 6 foot porch, the wind's gonna blow the rain right up under there with you. Trust me, I know from experience. When I lived in my single wide trailer, I had an 8 foot porch, and we had to stay against the back wall when it rained. I said, we won't do that no more. Kip Bear, you're good to see you tonight. You was in Zolch. I just knew you was over there with the Zibishes. Oh, Lord. That's what that word sounded like. I saw Brother Ronnie Malone here. He was in North Bend here not long ago. I got to see him and speak to him. Didn't really get to talk to him, but I got to speak to him. Good night, Homestead Pastor. So y'all, we are at 9:18. We are way past time. I normally shut this down, and one of the reasons I've got to get this shut down and close everything up tonight is I do have to go film just in time. I've been busy all. There we go. I got it back up. Man, folks trying to call me. I ain't never had it knock the screen out before when they called. Anyway, I've got to go film just in time. We've been busy today. I ain't been here to have done it. So I got to do that. That's one of the videos that I try to stay consistent with because I think it's making a lot of difference in a lot of other people's lives. It's made a difference in my life. An honor to get to serve the Lord and do something for the kingdom of God. And I know that it's not no great thing, and it's just a small part in the kingdom, because the kingdom is a huge thing, y'all. But doing something for the good Lord, it ain't about the views. It ain't about the popularity or how well. It's about doing something for God and being able to look back at it and going, if I made a difference in a handful of people's lives, it was worth everything. So I look forward to going and doing just in time. So I need to go sit down there and do some reading. It's liable to take me an hour or two to get ready to film it because I hadn't had time today to prepare like I would like to have done. But anyway, y'all, thank all of you for sitting here and joining with us. I mean, some of y'all been here for 2.5 hours through the whole show. Y'all, I want you to know from the depths of my heart, I greatly appreciate it. I do not take for granted those of you that comment all the time, that watch every video, that may not comment at all, but you steadily watching and giving me those views, and you enjoy what we're doing here. Y'all, I'm not perfect. I don't do everything perfectly. I never will. I do stuff and look back sometimes when I edit the video and go, now why did I do that? It's real life. I don't stage out and plan way ahead for videos. I literally turn the camera on as I'm living my life. So things go awry. Things ain't perfect. Things ain't like, well, why'd you do this? Well, I was filming and had my mind on something else and I didn't think about it. But I enjoyed doing it, and I appreciate all of you that watch. I don't take it for granted. I don't take any of y'all for granted. I want to say this in closing. Miss Darlena messaged me earlier this week and said I wanted to let you know that Mr. John Diden passed away. I don't know if y'all remember, but this belt buckle that I wear has got Blue Hole Canoes on it. Mr. John Diden has been in the hospital and in a nursing home for the last 2 years. I've requested prayer for him on here a couple of times. He passed away, I think, last Sunday. I found out about it about Tuesday, something like that. So prayers to that family. If any of them ever happen to watch this, I thought about him a lot. He was good to me. He loved Blue Hole Canoes because they were made in Sunbright, Tennessee, which is where he was from. So, when somebody like that passes away that I know's watched my videos for a while, it bothers you. It hurts. It's not like, you're all distraught, because I didn't personally know him, but I had talked to him several times, and he had sent me some stuff. And you get to know people, and they part of the family, y'all. I genuinely care about every one of you. Even if we argue over stuff or have a difference of opinion or whatever, I don't never wish anything bad on anybody. And I respect every one of you, and I think a lot of y'all. So thank you for watching the videos. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.